Hello. Hello everybody. So today I'm super excited because I'm going to run you through my Reading Rush TBR. If you don't know the Reading Rush, it was previously called Booktubeathon, but because they would also set challenges on Instagram and Twitter and things, they've rebranded it as the Reading Rush to be more less just about booktube, which is funny because this is the first year I've actually been making booktube videos and now it's not called the Booktubeathon. But regardless, I'm very excited to take part. It's a week-long readathon and you basically challenge yourself to read 7 books. They've kind of taken away that as an official challenge because it's too much pressure, which is fair, although I'm still challenging myself to read 7 books. There are 7 challenges of like ways to pick a book, so I'm going to run you through what the challenges are and what my books I've picked are. I'm really excited. It's always such a like mad fun week. I'm hopefully going to take part in a few of the video challenges, maybe just like 1 or 2, because like am I ever going to do one each day? Like, no, clearly not. Mostly I would do some of the Instagram challenges where they'd challenge you to take like a fun picture, like surrounding a theme. But I also want to kind of vlog the week and kind of see what I'm reading each week and see how far I get with all of the challenges. Okay, so let's get into the TBR. Here is my stack of books that I'm 100% not going to finish in the week. When is it? The 22nd to the 27th, I want to say, but that's 5 days. I don't know, I'll put it on the screen. Okay, so challenge number 1 was to pick a book with purple on the cover, and I kind of tossed into it, like turned between a few books, but I ended up with this book, which is It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini. This book, funnily enough, was on my Booktubeathon TBR a year ago. In terms of purple on the cover, there is a tiny bit right there. Not exactly a purple cover, but I've heard a lot of good things about this book. While I was researching, I wanted to make sure I knew the actual, summary of each of the books that I was talking about, because like that seemed organised. So I just did that like 5 minutes ago, and I found out that Ned Vizzini actually passed away in 2013 from suicide, which is really upsetting. And especially as this book talks about suicide and mental health, that's horrible. I think it's going to change the way that I view the book as well, but not in a bad way, just in a very upsetting way. So yeah, I've been meaning to read this one for a really long time as well. It's kind of one of those ones that everyone knows about. I really want to actually get to it this time, so that's book number 1. Okay, the second challenge, number 2, read a book in the same spot the entire time. So for this one, I've gone with How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. I've been meaning to read a Matt Haig book for so long and I still haven't. Why haven't I? I apparently picked this one up for £1, so very exciting. I think I've actually heard like some mixed things about this book, but it involves time travel, involves a guy called Tom. He looks like a normal middle-aged man, but he actually has lived for like years and years and years. He lived with Shakespeare kind of aged, so like a lot of time travel. The society that protect him have one rule, and it's to not fall in love. So I can only imagine what happens. So I'm going to read this for you have to read it all in the same place challenge, which you can like leave and come back, but you have to stay in the same space. I don't know where my space is going to be. Probably just my sofa. Like I could say I'd read it on my train, but that won't always be the same space. I can't guarantee I'm going to get the same space. It's a busy train. We'll see. I'm excited for that one though. Okay, so challenge number 3 is a book I meant to read last year, and for this one I'm going with The Power by Naomi Alder-Marston. Nope. I actually read quite far through of last year. Why didn't I finish it? Fuck's sake. I actually really was enjoying it, but I think like the themes were too heavy for me at that moment. I wanted to read YA, basically. Let's just put that out there. It's a sci-fi kind of like futuristic book where all the women in the world have discovered that they have the power. So with a flick of their wrist, they can inflict like electricity or like pain on others. It's such an interesting concept of a book because it tackles gender and power roles, but it like physically tackles they literally now have more power, as opposed to it being like within the patriarchy, men have more power. Now women have more power metaphorically and physically have more power. I remember enjoying it, but I kept picking it up and putting it down. I would read like 20 pages at a time sort of thing, and I think this is the kind of book actually that I want to just power through. I didn't even mean to do that. power through. I want to power through this book because I think I will really enjoy it. I don't want to let the fact that I've read some of this before put me off from enjoying it. So I'm gonna, even though I got actually more than halfway through, I'm gonna start from the beginning and I'm gonna really try and like find a day when I don't have a lot on and just really like read for a solid amount of hours and get into it, because I think that was my issue before. I wasn't fully, there's a few timelines and I wasn't into the story, so I'll keep you posted on this one. Yeah, I meant to read this last year because I picked it up last year. And I read some of it last year, but I didn't finish it last year. So My Town's Waterstones has a book club and The Power is their book club pick for this month. So I really want to read it so I can actually go to that book club and make some new friends. We're on to the fourth challenge. Challenge number 4 is read an author's first book. And for this one, I've picked Water Shall Refuse Them by Lucy McKnight Hardy. This one's just come out. It's been published by Dead Ink Books. This is a kindly gifted copy. I spoke about this book in my summer TBR video, which you can check out right there. I haven't read it yet, so I really want to get to it. It's kind of has apparently Shirley Jackson vibes. It's set in a heat wave, so it's kind of perfect for summer. It's set in Wales and has lots of weird, mysterious ongoings and witches and lots of cool things, so I'm excited to dive into it, and I've heard really good things about it so far. Yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. Challenge number 5 is read a book with 5 or more words in the title, and for this one I've gone with The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. I've included the as a word because you can do that. It's a bit reflecty because I got this one out from the library. My friend runs a book club called the Two Amy's Book Clubs with another girl called Amy, right here, and this is their book club read. I wanted to read it because it was shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction this year, which is very exciting. It's also not something I would ever have picked up usually. The title would definitely have intrigued me, but I think having read what it was about, I would have been like, oh, it doesn't really seem like my thing. So I'm excited that this kind of the situation has forced me to pick it up. It's a retelling of Greek mythology. Queen Helen has been kidnapped by the Trojans. I'm just going to read out the back here. Trapped in the Greek soldiers' camp is another captured queen, Briseis. I'm probably saying that wrong. Briseis, I'm going to go with Briseis. Condemned to be bed slave to Achilles, the man who butchered her family, she becomes a pawn in a menacing game between bored and frustrated warriors. In the centuries after this most famous war, history will write her off, a footnote in a bloody story scripted by vengeful men, but Briseis has a very different tale to tell. It actually sounds excellent. Like, I don't usually read retellings and I'm not very into Greek mythology. It kind of confuses me. I have a very simple reading mind, but I love a book that flips stuff on its head, and in a world that was so dominated by men and it being retold by women, I'm here for that, and I'm really excited to read it. I'm really excited because this will be my first ever like Greek mythology retelling type book. So many people read those all the time. They're like, yeah, just another retelling, but I'm excited, and I'm excited. Hopefully it'll be really good, so I'll keep you posted. I'm also going to have to read this one because it's from the library, and otherwise I'll have to return it unread, which is just ridiculous. Okay, so challenge number 6 is to read a book with a non-human main character. And I thought about this one for quite a while. I wasn't really sure where to go with it, and I looked at my shelves for a really long time. Ben suggested Good Omens, which obviously has angels and demons in, but I wasn't really fancying that. But then I remembered that I had My Dog Tulip by J.R. Ackley, which this cover is absolutely stunning. Like, this is a work of art. It's so pretty. This tells the story of a man and his dog, basically, and the man is J.R. Ackley. It tells the story of his companionship with his dog, which has been renamed Tulip. But interestingly, so when I was doing some research for this book, I looked into J.R. Ackley, and I knew nothing about him, and apparently his actual dog is called Queenie, but when he was writing this book, the editors of, I think it was like a magazine that had commissioned it or something, that's probably wrong, but we'll go with it. They suggested that it would be better to change the name of his dog. His editors were worried that if his dog was called Queenie, it would encourage jokes about his sexuality, because he was openly gay. That was in like the 1900s, so it obviously wasn't deemed acceptable to be gay at that point, which is really interesting. I had no idea about that kind of like snippet of information, so that makes me even more intrigued to like read it and like hear about the relationship. Obviously the guy is a main character, but the dog is clearly a main character too. Look at this doggo. Oh my god, He's so cute. So the final challenge is to read and watch a book to movie adaptation, which I actually struggled with quite a bit because most of the books I've either already read and watched the film, or I've watched the film but I haven't read the book yet, which is only the case for one book actually. So I figured I'd just do a reread because that's easy, and this is a book I've actually wanted to reread for quite a long time, and that is The Martian by Andy Weir, which is it's just such a solid book. I think I've read this twice already. If you don't know, which you probably do because like this was hyped years ago, wasn't it? And everyone loves it. But it's the story of a man who gets stranded on Mars and has to survive. And that's it. But I found it absolutely, like, completely my humour, absolutely hilarious. I'm going to read out for you the first line. I'm pretty much fucked. That's my considered opinion. I was like, oh yeah, I'm here for this. So I'm excited to read that and then have some downtime from reading and rewatch The Martian. And that's my TBR. Obviously, 7 books is a shit ton to read in 7 days. Is that gonna happen? Probably not, with the fact that, you know, I also have a full-time job and other responsibilities. But we'll see. I'm hoping to get through at least a few of them. I'm going to be trying to take a video each day and keep you posted on what I've been reading that day, and then I'll be able to compile it all at the end and see what I read and how badly I failed. We'll see what happens. But here's my TBR. Are you taking part in the Reading Rush? I'm just going to hold these like they're my babies. This year they have a new website and you can sign up and like earn badges when you like complete challenges and stuff, which is just, oh, it's so exciting. It really has leveled up this year. I'm excited to see what the video challenges are. I'm excited to see what the Instagram challenges are. So yeah, I'm buzzing. I'll put my links below for my Instagram and my Reading Rush account so you can add me on there and we can all share our stress of like reading too many books in 7 days. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I'm excited to get reading. Yikes. I hope you're having a lovely day and I will see you soon. Bye.